So first I'd like to thank Bob Zell for inviting me to read here this evening. It's always great to be in the same place. I'll be reading from my two new collections, Night Sweat, and ending with Light Spattered Edge. My first poem, Faces of the Moon over Philadelphia. Purple sky darkens Schuylkill River's rippling skin near Boathouse Row, displacing day's dip and pull of oars, moon's wavering vision. Streetlights' reflections cover burial of dust, bone, cobblestone, generation upon generation, moon's revolutions. Pinnacles without souls illuminate pearl-lit windows filled with luxurious leisure. Antique winds, broken whispers circle from lips of ancient stars, one-eyed moon, pirate of night. At Penn's Landing, ships string ivory lights through sails of hair. Delaware River rushes to kiss the bay. As silent fish sleep, to a madman's mutilated singing, his life song ink drippings from Franklin's Bridge, where night's frozen air is black, moon remembers his drowned secrets. Cold horses pull carriages in glittering night. Although they know the streets of Independence, they are far from green pastures. Their big eyes show no expression. Invisible arms of moon hug their strong necks. City of love and sorrows. Clothespin clamped tightly as lovers entwine. Neon tower swords slice wind-scarred face. Cars run over dreams. Hemlock and oak take root. Fountains froth foam. Yin-yang moon. A double nocturne turns in an academy. Theaters, art museums, Greek temples sing of arts. Bonfires spark golden stars. Ivory tambourine moon refrains, pulses in our veins. I grew up in Roxborough, and this poem's entitled Laundry. The clothes poles outlive you. Clouds like sails of sheets fade away from sight. From where I am standing right now, windy day in May, trees bending over, bow to the loveliness you once were, in floral house dress, white starched apron. And the clothes I am wearing are too large. I step out of them into a size and age I once was, as the clothesline sways. Your younger hands reach over me, into a clothespin bag. Cat eye sunglasses catch my reflection. Art in your movements, spreading colors across lines, bending and pinning, upside down trousers, inside out pockets, dangling sleeves like vines brush my face, while sun and breezes transform wet, heavy clothes into dry, lighter, inflatable dancers heaving their full-blown chest upward. I weave my way through billowing bleach sheets. Pillowcases lament. Empty nylons shake. See one hand resting atop the other in your pink burial gown, head sleeping on satin white pillow. One last look, your pallid face, the lifting before the satin sheet. So Tagger is defined as a graffiti artist. This is entitled Tagger. I burned ghost candle. Its looping smoke dissipates, invisible as absence. Freight's iron screams walk rails of awakening, and I travel alone into pain's tunnel. Here clicks shudder, over past ties. Your apparition like Hamlet's seeing of unseeing haunts me. You, with your backpack, wind-blown hair, brown swirly curls, spiked leather jacket. Train's haloed headlight light like a searchlight glows, as does an aura around Wick's flickering flame. I watch it dance devotion, bow to darkness. It is not afraid. It does not lose hope, nor does the North Star, brightest of all. It too is light in wide night's hollow cave. If I were Aquarius, I pour pitchers full of starlight, outside heavy bars hiding, pray to the colors of God's eyes to watch over you. I want to travel back, before tagging, drinking, smoking jays, before concealed cans of paint, black hieroglyphics, huffing blue cities' mist filled with rainbows of chakra haze, to when you were a child, and piggyback you over tracks from wherever you are to here. Aluminum. Unnoticed as flowers dying or slugs crawling, they pass as divers into liquid night, mysterious as the sick yellow glow of hazy streetlights, using a perfect stream of blue laser light to shine into a line of curbside recycling bins. They mine aluminum. Its faint rattle wakes me like raccoons stirring inside dumpsters. From the distance of my bedroom window, they are of small stature, dressed in darkness, a mismatched pair, jack of spades, queen of clubs, placing each can into bundles of plastic handle bags to muffle the sound, filling their stolen shopping carts, rolling out of sight. So this next poem inspired the cover art of Night Sweat. It's for my daughter Mary, and there's an epigraph by William Wordsworth, the Solitary Reaper, and I quote, "Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass, reaping and singing to herself." Its title is Under the Night Forever Falling. Early AM foolishly flaps its tongue like a wind-swept flag tethered to a rusty pole. Silk-spun web of stars, net lost dreams, broken kite strings sucked away, witches' brooms circle. An aborted childhood sings, ring around the rosy, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Fairy tales frozen in forgotten heavens, 12 zodiacs lost as hope. Absurdity wavers like a funhouse mirror. A nightlight bleeds into puddle onto a splintered floor, your bedroom door ajar, where heavy icicles hang like alligator's teeth on fanged edges of sleepless thoughts as your heart's poundings tell me you were forced to place your pillowed head into the lion's mouth. White wicks of innocence burnt down. Lost moments linger like a star's hang over an early morning sky. Yet, even now, your Roman Irish eyes illuminate pillars of strength within childhood's famine. Artist, actress, dancer, singer, epic promise, halo within my arms. I behold conquering breath of you, the way I held newborn breaths of you. So that's for my daughter, and I'm going to give her a plug. She's Athena. She's starring as Athena in The Odyssey at Temple University. She's the lead. So I'm very proud of her. You should go see it. It's playing till Saturday of next week. 2 stones for Johnny and Joey. She breathes these darkening stones alive. They resurrect as children, parachute through time as echoing whispers, take root in her weedy and sleepless thoughts, looking for their mother. And only for a short time do they survive, find their way home to her, again in magical, whimsical world of dreams where the oldest spoke stone, I knew you would cry. Youngest spoke only in flashing colors, aqua blue toddler clothes, blonde head bobbing up and down, measures just below a crystal and brass doorknob. In waking, they have turned against her. Stone her, stone her. Sustained absence falls like a 7-year famine. Trained herself not to cry. Built iron bars around each eye, caged in fierce and wild tears. She too is turning to stone. Invades their dreams, rattle their thoughts to remember her. The cure may be to take the 2 stones out of the box of her brain, allow them to rest in the lining of night's velvet drawer like coffins in a vault. Yet how can a mother forget those rattling dreams? So they were from Night Sweat. And these poems are from Light Spattered Edge. This one's Absence. It's from my grandmother. Each passing year, the lazy boy chair grew larger, flesh slowly melting into an 89-pound skeleton sinking into death's reclining arms. Words heaved out, a strained face, coarse and weathered as an old oak's bark, trunk bent over from pollution that you breathed, assembling felt brake shoes for locomotives. My bewildered pain, lost at this junction, not knowing which direction to travel to get you out of this thicket, shady wood daves, tangle-vine thoughts, undergrowth of disease stealing each and every one of your laboring breaths, lungs deterioration, suffocation from inside out, like that baby squirrel lost in your bedroom, placed by the exterminator into a plastic bucket, a tightly sealed lid. I wished I had freed it, the way I wished I could have freed you. If only I could have rewritten your destiny, then employment at Freedom Felt never would have happened to you or to your best friend Verna, who suffered the same fate working beside you. I tear up every page of that chapter, deleting assembled lines, you as mill worker, and the part where Papa stole checks on his mail route, fired without a pension, his obsession with drinking and gambling. You sat up for me, ate like a small child, steel blue eyes, soft pixie hair, asbestosis's full-fisted punch planted in each hollowed-out log of lung. I watch shallow waves of breath, the receding tide, your weakening heart thumping, a quieter sound moving to a slower tempo. When you disappeared, I was not there. So I have 2 more. This was the Philadelphia State Hospital that was demolished in 2006. It was known by the locals as Byberry. repeatedly waking to music. Repeatedly waking to music until morning's artificial voices tamely sing from caged speakers on nakedness of white sky walls, nest of tangled thoughts now restful. Songs that will peck at her later in nights of extreme torture behind asylums' windows where a psychiatrist forces her by opening the seam of her mind where feathers fly out. Some take flight, some suspended as sleeping pets, others pulverized under Whitman's boots. Then there are the ones that awaken days later inside heightened imagination, fingers pecking typewriter keys like a machine gun firing, and pencils leaded point, pinning winged words onto page after page, orchestrated lines, poetic notes playing loudly inside the shaved sides of her head. She, the electrode of it all, until feathers bleed, bandages of songs ripped into white shreds, before releasing her back into desperation's darkened hours, into a cell like barred plumage on birds, raping her voice, stealing her songs as if all belonged to him. My last poem is Pennsylvania. And it was inspired by a train ride across Pennsylvania where I witnessed desolate shells of mills and factories. Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, like a pen that lost its ink, a pervasive loneliness invades your propped up body. 3 rivers, bridges cross connecting the disconnect. Time to cross over and not look back at who you once were. Never to be crossed over again. Learn what you can. Move forward. Parts of you will surely be left behind like the city of steel that has died. Once its mighty furnaces built this nation. Now ghosts sing the lost lives of those no longer here. Time has passed. It moves on into the future. Enlightened Emerson says to forget regret, forget memory. The soul must soar toward everlasting. Yet China builds steel empires to our forgotten gods, disturbing as smoke billowing atomic clouds out of nuclear power plants. June's Alleghenies, thick forest green, brown creeks wash our state's wounded feet. Unemployment deep as a dugout quarry, rough and quick as rapids, stagnant as a tree-dead pond. Muddy rivers running wild and hungry, and rhythmic as a train rocking its way from side to side. The hunchback clouds walk the top ridge with slow motion urgency, sun beating on their backs like a chain gang. Philadelphia via rail, Paoli, Lancaster, Elizabethtown, Harrisburg, Lewistown, Huntington, Tyrone, Altoona, Johnstown, Latrobe, Greensburg, Pittsburgh. This is the homeland I know. I know none better. Generations of families have lived here in every root-reaching foothold, enriched soil of timelessness, of sun. I bless this land. An engine pulls its many cars along rails blasted through mountains, winding way through forest, where every shadow has a story, each tree's testament, its wisdom and leafy green prayers to June-proud rays, prevalence of green. All these waterways like veins running secretly through time's hidden mountains and valleys, coal cars still packed with black dust. Oh, loved ones, ancestors to us all, how in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh I have sung hard-hearted battle hymns, your bones laid at strangers' feet. They ran away from your tombs of shadows, clothes soaked in blood, whose sweat sang our state alive, whose raised ashes scattered beat death's strung-out songs, filling the wind's chattering teeth, the buried banging of your death's toll. Church bells' tongues now silence into the reading room space of a little room in a grand library 300 miles from home. I sang your elegies, and after reading your life songs, cried as if I had come from each of your funerals. I am ashamed of myself. I cannot bury the ashes of your smoldering days gone by. How can one drink each night from Lethe and rise the next day forgetting the previous day? I have failed to forget you. Turn to rust and ash like the steel mills and rail yards of Altoona and Johnstown. I release your ashes to the wind of time, but they circle back, blinding my eyes in acidic tears. They burn through forgetfulness. All of you rise in front of me, and I see and hear you. I tear my garments from my body, swim in cloudy waters of chlorinated sky where clouds surrender to you, where I see your faces reflected in lakes, rivers, and mountains, whose silence screams from pinnacles. I swim away from the other side of Lethe, and I wake to your sleeping faces in the shapes of clouds until they lose their fluffy resemblances and become skeletons, skulls, where I see the blue sky in holes that once were your steel eyes.